Democracy fading out of India. Democracy is facing a deep crisis. This time, the crisis is not of governance or only corruption, but much larger. It is all about the civil rights, rights to express dissent and right to protest. Little more than 6 decades of experience of Indian democracy has seen Congress as a ruling party over 5 decades. There are umpteen examples in the history of a democratic republic that invariably Congress party has attempted to sabotage the fundamental rights of the civilians in the country. It is a shameless story of Congress party, the story of subjugation and suppression of freedom of expression and right to dissent. The story starts immediately after independence, when Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of India. Then a great leader of Indian freedom struggle and a former minister in Nehru's council, founder president of Bharatiya Janasangh and a prominent member of the opposition party, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, died in mysterious circumstances. A plot by the Congress party to sabotage the issue of Kashmir that he was leading. The prominent leader from the civil society was silenced in a brutal way, resulting in subjugation of freedom of expression. Srimati Indira Gandhi took over as the Prime Minister of this nation. She made a sincere attempt to impose an autocratic rule and attempted to curb a mass movement led by Jayaprakash Narayan by imposing emergency. Which happens to be the darkest part of the Indian democratic history. The story is same with the Congress-led UPA too. Since 2004, when Congress came back to power with set of opportunistic, greedy allies, it has been involved in unprecedented rate of corruption which has never been witnessed in the history of independent India. The re-emergence of UPA in 2009 for the second term gave Congress more confidence to continue the scandalous empire. A series of scams like 2G, Commonwealth Games, Adarsh housing scam, and so on. When entire country got frustrated about growing inflation, unprecedented corruption, and government's non-transparent behavior and frequent incidences of Congress misleading the courts, there were series of protests launched by a large number of civil society members. Congress went back to its old formula of butchering the protesters' right by using all sorts of unconvincing irrational logic. Congress appears to have forgotten that democracy functions on dialogue. Instead, they are interested in imposing a monologue on the same civil society through which they have been elected to govern the country. The new wave of liberalization was initiated by Honorable Shri Manmohan Singh in 1992 that led to creation of more opportunity for the money swindlers and the power brokers to transport lot of black money outside this country. Swiss bank and German governments were willing to share the information of the total money deposited in various banks outside the country. It was most surprising that Indian government was not at all keen on the issue of recovery of black money from various foreign banks. Baba Ramdev announced his fasting to protest against this government's inaction. Senior ministers in the UPA government negotiated with Baba Ramdev. When the commitments were not met, Baba Ramdev went on fast in Ramleela Maidan in a completely non-violent way. Each one of you has seen the midnight brutal attack on the disciples of Baba Ramdev. There cannot be any better example of murder of democracy. Congress, instead of taking necessary steps to bring back black money from Swiss banks and penalizing the culprits, has booked a series of cases against Baba. On camera, a group of trigger-happy policemen carrying brutal weapons and armed with shooting orders by their political masters continuously firing from their revolvers. The incident happened recently when thousands of farmers had blocked the Mumbai-Pune expressway to protest against an underground water pipeline project that would divert water from the Bhavna Dam to the Pimpri-Chindwar township. It was a very clear demonstration of Congress party's two-faced behavior. In the wake of recent developments on Commonwealth Games and 2G spectrum scams, the CAG reports and the proceedings in the Supreme Court of India was directing the root of the problem towards P. Chidambaram and Prime Minister's office. BJP, as a responsible opposition party, demanded the resignation of Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit along with P. Chidambaram. This agitation was not palatable to the Congress government in Delhi as well as UPA. When the anti-corruption rally was launched, there was an indiscriminate lathi charge by the police. This incident shows a clear case of anti-democratic move of Congress government.
भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जो लोग बाहर निकलते हैं, ये सरकार उन पर अत्याचार करती है। ये सरकार भ्रष्टाचारी भी है और अत्याचारी भी है। प्रधानमंत्री जी, इसी दिल्ली के अंदर जिलानी के नेतृत्व में अलगाववादी आकर के भाषण देकर चले जाते हैं। आपकी दिल्ली पुलिस चूं नहीं करती। लेकिन अगर कोई भगवा वेश में साधु आ जाए, अगर कोई गांधी टोपी लगाए गांधीवादी आ जाए और अगर कोई आरएसएस का समर्थक आ जाए तो एक ही है, आओ देखो ना ताओ, लाठियां चलाओ। और जब आडवाणी जी 1975 की बात करते हैं तो उन्हीं नागरिक अधिकारों के हनन की बात करते हैं और जो अलोकतांत्रिक रवैया सरकार सदन के बाहर अपनाती है, वही अलोकतांत्रिक रवैया सदन के अंदर अपना करके विपक्ष की आवाज को बंद करने का काम करती है। सारी संवैधानिक संस्थाओं को आपने मर्यादा भंग करने का काम किया। C&AG पर आपके लोग सदन के बाहर ही नहीं, सदन के अंदर भी प्रहार करते हैं। PAC के अंदर आपके लोग हुल्लड़ मचाते हैं। एक संस्था बची थी, स्पीकर की रूलिंग, स्पीकर की पीठ। कल संसदीय कार्य मंत्री जी, स्पीकर की रूलिंग को चुनौती करके आपने उस संस्था का भी 1975 में इसी पार्लियामेंट की सुप्रीमेसी को आपने खंडित करने का काम किया था। ना हम जुडिशरी की सुप्रीमेसी खंडित होने देंगे, ना पार्लियामेंट की सुप्रीमेसी खंडित होने देंगे, लेकिन नागरिक अधिकार सबसे ऊपर है। देश आजाद है। आज वतन आजाद है और इस आजाद वतन में नागरिक अधिकारों का हनन अगर सरकार करेगी तो पुरजोर ढंग से, चाहे उसका नेतृत्व कोई भी क्यों नहीं कहा हो, हम उसका पुरजोर विरोध करेंगे।
On 5th of April 2011, a 73-year-old man in central Delhi stopped eating. The man in question was Kishan Babu Rao Hazare. His specific demand was that civil society should have a say in drafting a stringent anti-corruption law, the Lokpal Bill. Hazare, Anna to his followers, was by no means the only man on a hunger strike there, but he was onto something serious. While the government was drowning in a flood of corruption scandals, the 2G spectrum allocation controversy and the Commonwealth Games fiasco, Anna Hazare gave a perfect voice to the frustrated sentiments of this country and successfully managed to ride on the wave. A throng of civic activists and well-heeled supporters from all corners of the country took his side. On the 8th of April, the government agreed that 5 members chosen by Anna Hazare would be part of the Lokpal Bill Drafting Committee. After a series of meetings with the drafting committee, there were huge disagreements, and as usual, Congress broke all the traditions of a legitimate drafting committee and presented its version of the story. Anna Hazare's team cautioned the government of protesting further if the inadequate bill is presented or Jana Lokpal bill is not presented in the parliament. And as stated, Anna did make preparations to protest from August 16th. Congress was back with its politics of destroying anything which is democratic.
बाहर उन्होंने अन्ना हजारे उनके साथी की आवाज को दबाया, लेकिन आज तक इमरजेंसी को छोड़ करके अध्यक्ष की आवाज कभी किसी सरकार ने दबाने की कोशिश नहीं की। कब से शुरू हुआ?
First, they were denied permissions at Jantar Mantar, and then, on the 16th morning, Anna and his team were arrested, and nobody was allowed to fast in that ground. Now at least it is apparent that probably UPA is moving to impose another emergency.
On one hand, you sent ministers to receive Baba Ramdev. You formed a drafting committee with Shri Anna Hazare and his team. And then in the middle of the night, you unleashed them with lathis. You followed the police power approach to solve a political problem. Smugness, Mr. Prime Minister, which has become a character of this government. Arrogance of power, which has become a character of this government. Is the Congress party willing to give an undertaking to this country that it will never organize a protest of more than 5,000 people? Are you willing to abide by each of these conditions that you have imposed on Anna Hazare and his people? Your people can go and break section 144 in any adjoining state in Uttar Pradesh, and you can say a right to protest is my fundamental right. But when it comes to Delhi, you adopt an alternative argument. If the country is exasperated with corruption, you address the problem of corruption. If a citizens group wants to protest, you allow him to protest. How can you rake up a plea today? Well, there should be no participation of anyone outside Parliament in the drafting of the laws. What is the National Advisory Committee? It's a group of citizens. You are using them effectively to draft your laws. Your ministers even don't have the courage to start opposing the laws that they are drafting. So if another group of citizens says, I have a viewpoint, consider it. I want to campaign, crusade. They are not replacing Parliament. Even the laws drafted by your NSE will come up before the government or the Parliament. Therefore, if a group of citizens says, I have an alternate view, we may eventually not accept a lot of what they say. We may accept some suggestions of what they say. But how can you take away and snatch their right to say? Do we even recollect any illustrations from the British regime where these kind of restrictions were being imposed on the freedom fighters and Gandhiji? They had hundreds of protests. Have only minuscule protests, have only small protests. Don't have a large protest. And if the government of the day becomes so dictatorial, so oppressive, then a citizens group may well say, I am willing to offer satyagraha and even go to prison. They have a right of peaceful protest, and till the very end, we will uphold that right of peaceful.
It has been the nature of Congress Party to suppress democratic values since independence. One can list out thousands and thousands of incidents of subjugation of democratic rights by Congress-ruled governments across India. India as a nation has suffered serious onslaught of foreign rulers over centuries. We as a nation got freedom on the sacrifices of millions of people. Now it is evident that Congress and its opportunistic partners have been treating it as their own property to do whatever they want to do with this nation. We are heading towards another freedom struggle today.
लोकतंत्र में हमारे संविधान ने जो मूलभूत अधिकार फंडामेंटल राइट्स हमको दिए हैं, जो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच हमारे बीच में हमको मिले हुए अधिकार के रूप में है, उस अधिकारों का विचार करते हुए लोकतंत्र में जिस प्रकार से इस अधिकारों का खुले रूप से सरकार की तौर से हनन हो रहा है, ये लोगों के सामने है कि ये सवाल पैदा हुआ है कि क्या इस देश में शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से, लोकतांत्रिक मार्ग से, अहिंसात्मक मार्ग से भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ, काले धन के खिलाफ बोलने का अधिकार है क्या? क्या भ्रष्टाचार जो हुआ है उसके खिलाफ आंदोलन करने का अधिकार है क्या? कहीं जुलूस निकालने का अधिकार है क्या? अनशन करने का अधिकार है क्या? क्या यह भी सरकार तय करेगी? यानी कोई मर्यादा नहीं, ना मीडिया की चिंता है, ना जुडिशरी की चिंता है, ना लोकतंत्र की चिंता है, ना देश के जनता की चिंता है। लगातार जिस प्रकार से इसको दबाया जा रहा है, जिस प्रकार से व्यवहार किया जा रहा है, उसके कारण पूरे देश में, पूरी जनता के बीच में रोष है, सभी पार्टियों के बीच में रोष है, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक लोकतंत्र के लिए खतरा है। इस देश को भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त करना यह राजनीतिक और गैर राजनीतिक सभी नेताओं का अधिकार है। कांग्रेस पार्टी और यूपीए के मंत्रियों के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ इस देश में कोई बोल नहीं सकता, ऐसा कानून केवल करना बाकी रहा है। ये लोकतंत्रों को कुचलने की बात प्रधानमंत्री और इनकी यूपीए सरकार और कांग्रेस पार्टी कर रही है, इसका हम निषेध कर रहे हैं, धिक्कार कर रहे हैं, और पूरी शक्ति के साथ इस देश को भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त करने के लिए हम संघर्ष करेंगे, और लोकतंत्र के खिलाफ जो कुछ चल रहा है उस लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए हम लोगों के पास जाएंगे। एक तरफ संसद में भी लड़ाई लड़ेंगे और दूसरी ओर संसद के बाहर भी लड़ाई लड़ेंगे।
It is the most significant and appropriate time for us to defend our freedom from the people who are butchering democracy. It is high time today that the aware citizens of India take stock of the situation and teach Congress a lesson and trim it to size and create a resurgent, vibrant India.